Hello my friends, and welcome to Greatest Rock and Metal, where I talk about what for me are the greatest rock and metal bands and albums of all time, based on listening to thousands of CDs and going to hundreds of gigs over many years. If you enjoy what you see today, please subscribe to the channel, press the red button so that you can see future episodes of Greatest Rock and Metal. Today I am talking about this band, Faith No More. Why today? Well, recently there has been a reissue of this album. Their album titled The Real Thing. So I thought now would be a good time to have a chat about Faith No More. For me, my love affair with this band started when I first heard the single We Care a Lot. We Care a Lot. Thought it was a good, catchy sing-along song, but that was about it. Yeah, that was about it. But it wasn't that long afterwards, in 1989, that I heard the song that catapulted Faith No More into the minds of rock and metal fans, especially in the UK. The UK took to this band massively when they heard this brilliant guitar riff and the underlying keyboard from out of nowhere. And that's how it kind of seemed to come to a lot of rock and metal fans. They kind of heard We Care a Lot, but this track from out of nowhere just came from out of nowhere. It was very different to the style they had on We Care a Lot. Also, the vocals were different. Why? They had a new singer. This was a fantastic song, and it was quickly followed by another fantastic song from the same album called Epic, which really catapulted them into superstardom now, not just in the UK, but across Europe and in America. So that's how I got into Faith No More. A little bit of history about the band. Well, they formed in 1979. So that's a 10-year period before they actually started to break through and make it big. And as I mentioned, they had their original singer, Chuck Mosley, rest in peace, who was later replaced for the Real Thing album by a guy by the name of Mike Patton. They had great success with the Real Thing album, went platinum in the United States, did massive touring for the album. And then they followed it up with this album, an album called Angel Dust, which was very, very different. Threw a real left turn for all the people, who just got into Faith No More. Very, very diverse album, lots of different musical styles on it, in parts a lot more aggressive and not as melodic. The Real Thing album is full of great melodic sing-along style tracks. Angel Dust, it took a lot more listening to get into some of the tracks on the album. And unfortunately then, they started to see a bit of a decline in their career because of it. So it was it took a long time for them to get to the top, so to speak, but they didn't stay there very long. And then with the next album, King for a Day, and then they had another album after that. The name escapes me at the moment. By 1998, it was all over. They broke up, and the breakup lasted for a long period of time until the money, I don't care what they say, the money in 2009 that was offered by various festivals saw them reunite, and they continue to this day, but not doing very much really. They play the odd festival shows here and there. The only musical product they had in that period of time, since 2009, was in 2015. They released this album, Sol Invictus. So that's a little bit of history of Faith No More. Let's go on to this album. As I say, newly reissued on vinyl. This is a beautiful, let's have a look at it, yellow marble vinyl. Love this, love this. Sounds great as well. And the Real Thing album is just chock full of classic songs. There is not a bad track on it. Okay? Sorry, let me just put this back. Got to find a better way of doing this. So let's go through the album, and as always I will tell you what are my favourite 4, which is kind of easy to do because I love these 4 songs so much, but then tough to do because, like I say, there is not a bad track on the album. So the first one I would choose, well, the opener, the one I've already spoken about, From Out of Nowhere. Fast and furious, and is for me a perfect Faith No More song, as you have that combination of a keyboard riff and a guitar riff together. One thing that I must say about this album, the sound, the production, the engineering on this album, which was led by a producer, was a guy by the name of Matt Wallace. The sound is perfection, the mix is perfection. You can hear all of the instruments beautifully. The brilliant drumming of Mike Bordin. He has some great rhythmic patterns, complemented by Billy Gold's bass playing. He's more of a slap bass player. Roddy Bottum's keyboards you can really hear, and the guitarist at the time was a guy by the name of Big Jim Martin. He brought the heavy metal riffs to the band, and then complemented by the vocals of Mike Patton, who is a superb vocalist. And although he's able to do many different styles of vocals, he tended to stick more with what I call the rock god vocal style for this album. And we then move on to my second choice, which is the track Falling to Pieces. I love the bass sound on this, of boing, 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 and I can close my eyes and I can see myself in the gig with thousands of others around me, you know, bouncing up and down to this song. And it's got a brilliant chorus. My life is falling to pieces, somebody put me together. Love the chorus on this song. Next, we move on to a track which I didn't know what to make of it the first time I heard it, titled Zombie Eaters. Now, this song starts off very, very gently, a lullaby almost. And the reason it's a lullaby is because it's actually the lyrics on this and the way Mike Patton delivers them. He delivers it as if he's a baby. And he's talking through the eyes of a baby. And just go listen to this song. It is fantastic. The lyrics, and then the way starts so gentle at the beginning, and then moves up into this massive rock song. A good, strong, brilliant track. Then my fourth choice will be the title track, the epic song, The Real Thing, which again starts off slowly, a little nice little drum beat, dum, dum, ch, dum, 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 ch. And I know the feeling, this is the real thing. And then big vocals come in, and then down again, and then big vocals, and then we're off and running with the Real Thing track. A perfect album. There's some albums that it's you cannot say that. This you can say. This is a perfect album. Not a track needs to be skipped. The only thing about the vinyl version, I have the CD version here, is on the vinyl version it does not include their brilliant cover of the Black Sabbath song War Pigs, which is also a great cover version of that song. So there you have it. That is Faith No More's A Real Thing album in a nutshell. And now I want to talk about seeing Faith No More live for the first time. But before I do that, it's time to take a look at rock t-shirts by the sea. Hope you enjoyed that. So, Faith No More UK Tours 1990. The band was so big in the UK after the release of the Real Thing album that they had 2 UK tours in very quick succession, which is quite an unusual thing to do. The first time I saw them was on the first leg at Nottingham Rock City, February 1990, and the price of that ticket £5.50, £5 and then just a few months back later in April they were back at Rock City again to play another gig. The anticipation to see Faith No More live was huge and rightly deserved. They are a brilliant live band, or were in those days. Still very good today, but again, like many bands, as they get older, they lose their energy. In 1990, the energy was what this band was all about. Their on-stage performance was dynamic. It was dynamite. Every single member of the band did not stop moving, head banging, running about the stage if they could. Obviously the drummer and the keyboard player couldn't run about the stage. Well, actually the keyboard player did a little bit, but well, the energy of the band was just incredible. Mike Patton, a superb frontman in terms of getting the crowd involved in the songs, and so many of their songs on this album are real, like, get your body moving songs. There's no real take a breather type songs, and the set list, of course, very much reflected that. Pretty much nearly every track from the album was played, with a few tracks from their previous 2 albums. And of course, we got We Care a Lot from the old albums, and Chinese Arithmetic from the old album, the crap song As the Worm Turns, Introduce Yourself. So they were tracks from the old albums. And the set list for both gigs was pretty similar. The only difference was they started to then play in the second leg of the tour a song that actually became a very big hit for them, a cover of the Commodores song Easy. 'Cause I'm easy, la 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 la, easy like a Sunday morning. Yeah, that one. Everybody knows that song. Everybody knows that song. What was also exciting about Faith No More coming to Nottingham was I got to meet them. They did a record store in-signing, and you will see here is my signed CD, the original CD that I had signed by all of the band. So Faith No More as a live band in those days were, as I said, electric. And they played 2 fantastic gigs there, and I can still remember to this day, coming out, and the t-shirt was just wringing wet. I don't have the original t-shirt. This is this is the t-shirt from the Real Thing tour, but this, as you see, it says version 2 because they reprinted this t-shirt for their reunited tour that they did in 2009. The original of mine is long since gone, but I've always loved this t-shirt design, so I'm glad I got to get one similar again. And like I say, sorry, the energy in the room, I just remembered every song bouncing up and down, head banging, and my t-shirt wringing wet at the end of the gig. So there you have it. That is Faith No More. 4 recommended albums. Well, they don't have many to choose from. So the 4 I would recommend are, of course, number 1, The Real Thing. Closely followed by Angel Dust. It's a real grower. If you get over the fact that it's very different from The Real Thing, Angel Dust is pretty much a near perfect album as well. But you've got to be able to deal with the very different musical styles throughout the album. I'd also recommend King for a Day down here, which, let's bring that one up a little bit, King for a Day, which also carries on more in a similar vein to Angel Dust, very much more a mix of the musical styles. And then really that had now become their sound. They've moved completely away from the Real Thing sound. So when they reunited and released Sol Invictus in 2015, again you're talking about an album full of different musical styles. One song that I really recommend on this album, Motherfucker. Get the motherfucker on the phone. The phone. Get the motherfucker. I never heard anything like it. It's a brilliant song. You gotta listen to that song. Okay, thank you very much. Please press the red button, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed that. And remember, as always, we rock.